comes before me. Is it the net or my own doubts that keep me rooted in place? The whistle blows, and I run to the center of the court, eyes locked on the ball, soaring over the net as I position myself, waiting for the pass. Soon it comes. Wait, wait. Now. My hands work in unison, cradling the ball and pushing it up where the hitter spikes it over. One day, during practice, my teammate asked me, "Why do you like setting? Isn't it a lot of running?" In response, I merely smiled and replied, "Exactly, that's what makes it fun." It's no secret that change encompasses my life. From the Wednesday Paris morning in which I was born, to the moment I'm standing here on this stage today as an 18-year-old, life has carried me through its highs and lows, strong and steadfast like tides washing up on shore. For some, a goal can be achieved with just the right amount of effort. For others, even years of persistence can get us there. I know, it sounds pitiful and disappointing, but it's true. As much as I like to keep this between the dolls on my bed and me, I want to take this opportunity to share a side of my story. Perhaps not a very impressive one if you think about its wide impact, but I believe a story that teaches me to value myself deserves its own spotlight. When I started high school, I had 5 clear and simple goals. I devote attention to my studies, have good grades, attend a good university, become a journalist, and live in New York City with a dog. Anything outside of these goals, I never dreamed of pursuing, and this was especially true for sports. Besides, my 152-centimeter stature didn't exactly scream athlete, and my reserved nature didn't quite help either. That's why, when I moved to Argentina in 10th grade, it scared me more than ever. Although I had no expectations of gaining anything, it surprised me, because by being thrusted into this new environment, I was forced to live a different lifestyle. Whether this was warming up to a cup of chocolate caliente in the frigid Buenos Aires air, gazing at seals in Patagonia, or even 8 p.m. dinners with my dad while we competed to find out who could name all the countries of the world the fastest. There, I also joined volleyball for the first time. Advised by Jime and Laura, who, by encouraging me to come to practice with purpose and put intent into every serve, set, and spike, became more than just my coaches. My friends and teammates, Dina, August, Miru, and Grace, we found ways to spend our free time passing the ball. Eventually, their passion translated to me, and unlike any hobby I'd ever experienced before, I started to truly love it, on my own accord. Although I didn't make varsity team that year, seeing my friends stand up against stronger opponents inspired me to want the challenge for myself, not for the distinction that it would bring me, but for the chance to face technically skilled players and continually improve myself. So, when I moved back to Thailand in 11th grade, I vowed to myself that I'd do anything and everything I could to make varsity. I'll tell you now that I failed. Twice. Despite spending off-season practicing with the team, countless hours spent replaying Asia O'Neill's aces in the Texas versus Nebraska NCAA final, or the summer I spent practicing with my dad again in his Buenos Aires apartment, in the end, there was nothing I could do. I spent days, weeks, and months contemplating what had gone wrong. What had I done wrong? It was like being pelted with knives, but only they were invisible and I was left defenseless. Each time, I'm engulfed with the sound of someone roaring, but I realize that it's me, thrashing, daring to break free. Each time, this voice gets louder and louder and louder. Maybe 5 or 6 months ago, I never wanted anyone to know that I failed at the same thing twice. But now I feel like this is the exact reason that I need to voice it. Because failing not only forced me to tend for my own wounds and emerge more strong-willed, but it was proof of my genuine love for my passions. People always talk about discovering a passion, but what is it like to ease out of one? In the case that you've lost interest in your hobby, or your life can no longer support this passion, then what do? For me, I had no answers. Truthfully, I still don't have an answer. But I do know that it takes acknowledgement and understanding, and only when I understood what I wanted for my life could I move on. Time heals, or so the saying goes. For me, time is an opportunity for us to come to a realization that life doesn't end when we fail or face an impossible wall. Of course, a lot of time has passed since that day, and I've made multiple realizations in the meantime. Overthinking won't change anything, and despite how I may feel today, life will still go on. This realization has kindled until eventually they're flowing, amassing from a single molecule into a growing current that ascends into the depths of the waterfall. But the usual roaring is replaced by a blanketed silence, a newfound sense of tranquility and stillness that makes nearly everything more clear. Because this time, I'm no longer afraid of standing at the edge and gazing down at what lies beneath. Although I cannot tell where the drop ends and where the new river begins, the memories from my past ebb and flow like cohesive hydrogen bonds that merely marks the beginning. So, like I've done for the past 18 years, I adapt. This is not to say that I've completely left volleyball behind. In fact, highlights of the Italian League embedded in my YouTube algorithm is proof of the impact this sport has had and will continue to have on me. However, I've also accustomed time to explore and fall in love again. Instead of wrapping my head around the remnants of my past that have been imprisoning me for a year, I now face reality. Now that I didn't have to spend so much time into practice, I could spend it resting or cherishing the short amount of time I have left with my friends, who in our past 2 years taught me what it means to be selfless. For a long time, I thought I was always late. Like a dog chasing its own tail, I was so busy thinking about what had happened in the past that I truly forgot to see what was happening right before my eyes. Now I found interest in the small things. Whether it's plowing my way through Mandarin or Korean Quizlets, spending my free hours mastering every country's outline, hanging out with friends at Fashion Island on our very, very, very rare free weekends, or conquering the fear of driving on a Bangkok street for the first time, I learned to grow up and have responsibility, owing it to myself to make mistakes again and again. If you told me, in 9th grade, that over the next 4 years, I'd have lived in Argentina during the World Cup, hiked over 40,000 steps up and down Mount Fitzroy in one day, captained the JV volleyball team for 2 years, hosted CSAC softball last weekend, make lifelong friends that will struggle through the IB with me, or will be standing with you on the stage today, I'd have stared at you in blatant confusion. But I believe you now. You can fail at a particular endeavor related to your passion, but true passion will persevere through such failures because, in my definition, passion is swimming to shore even when the waves pull at you. It's trudging through a sandstorm and taking one step at a time, even when the sand blinds your eyes. Through failure, we learn to understand ourselves and our values. Through failure, we adapt and become resilient to future challenges. Without these failures, I would never have gotten to where I am today. Of course, it's also not just about the passion that stays, but it's also about those fleeting moments in time, caught up in the whirlwind of excitement and spontaneity. Because, like joy and anger and fear, disgust and sadness, passion is alive, a growing flame inside of us. It's in this way that we're able to connect with other humans, both in our similarities and in our differences. Despite the Garuda that labels me Thai by birth, the places I visited, the memories I made, and the love I've merely begun to experience are stepping stones for me to aspire for more than I'm given. To this day, I live by 2 mottos. The first is in Spanish, que será, será, whatever happens, happens. This has since given me the confidence to pursue new passions, understanding that things will naturally come and go from my life. Second is the Latin phrase used by Mr. Keating in the Dead Poets Society. Carpe diem, to seize the day. After all, to pursue passion is to live. Among the hemispheres of our world, past the all-encompassing frenzy of human civilization, undivided by lines that determine our nationality, we, as humans who fail again and again, but nevertheless emerge each time with more perseverance, exist. Thank you.